everyone, and welcome to Puzzle Power Hour with Katie. Today we are putting together the Power Rangers Rise of the Psycho Rangers Jigsaw puzzle. We have a lot of Power Ranger games here at Renegade Game Studios, so we are also going to be having a little interview with Jonathan Ying while we put this amazing puzzle together. And what better to pair up with a little Puzzle Power Hour than some snacks. Today I'm going to show you a little Power Ranger themed snack that you can make for your board game nights. And it's not too hard to do. Let me tell you what you need. What I did is I got some vanilla cupcakes with white icing. Then I got some colored dye and just colored the icing, and voila, you have Power Ranger themed cupcakes featuring some of our favorite Ranger colors. Hello everyone and welcome. I hope you are all doing well. For anyone that does not know me, which most of you probably don't, I'm the video production associate here at Renegade Game Studios, and today we're starting a little new series. We're going to be doing some puzzles. We're starting out with one of our Power Ranger puzzles, and we are also going to be having a guest and doing a little bit of an interview while puzzles, maybe some snacking, with Jonathan Ying, who will be joining me shortly. We're gonna go ahead and start. As you saw from the beginning, we've already put together the puzzle to a certain point, and I'm just gonna be kind of doing the puzzle, chatting a little bit, and then Jonathan will join us and we'll ask some questions that were asked by you, the fans, in the Renegade Game Studios Power Ranger Facebook page, which you can go check out, join if you are not in. We're going to go ahead and continue this puzzle. We have the whole border. I got the Power Ranger logo. Most of the Red Ranger, most of the Pink Ranger, Yellow Ranger's complete. I think almost all of the Black Ranger, about half of the Blue Ranger, and we still got a little bit more to go. So a little bit about me. I personally am a big fan of puzzles. I've always enjoyed doing puzzles, and even as I'm older, I still really enjoy doing puzzles, like a lot. Now that, we're all looking at screens all the time between your phone, your laptop, and kind of just everything, I find that for me, my eyes tend to get really tired from just looking at screens. So from my perspective, I think puzzles are a really great way to take kind of a break. This and like a lot of board games in general. But puzzles I find to be really relaxing. For the most part. It can be frustrating, you're looking for that one piece and you just can't find it. But that's one thing I really enjoy about puzzles. It's very relaxing. I like to throw on a playlist or like a background show to kind of have while just like loosely concentrating on a puzzle. That's a little bit on my background. Some tips for anyone that maybe doesn't do a lot of puzzles would be, I would start with the border, which I feel like a lot of people know that, but some people may not. Just because they have a straight edge on them, so they're the easiest to find out of the whole scatter of pieces. And then from there, there's kind of a few different methods. You can either flip over all the pieces over like a big table, and then you can see them all and kind of like pick and choose, try to sort them from there. Or you can sort them by color. If there's some very specific color portions of the puzzle, you can gather all those, so then they're all kind of together in one place. Those are kind of the ways that I tend to do puzzles. I do it one of those two ways usually. And, we're definitely past halfway with this puzzle. Mostly just have this kind of upper middle portion and a little bit down there at the bottom. The most struggle with this puzzle is I did separate it by colors, because I was like, oh yeah, we got the Red Ranger pieces, the Pink Ranger pieces, and kind of separated it that way, thinking like, oh, this won't be too bad. And it's been really fun so far. It's a very, very nice puzzle with some really nice details That's the other thing with puzzles. Like, this art is the box art of one of our games. But when you look at the puzzle, it's kind of like a blown up version. So you really see those little details with the art. And that's actually what helps me find some of the pieces, in all honesty. Because you'll see even just like this one specific line, you're like, oh, this line goes across a few pieces. And that can help you find exactly what you're looking for. Boom, got a piece. I was worried. I'm looking around, I'm like, I can't find anything. Kind of the typical thing with puzzles. But yeah, I hope you're all having a good Friday so far. And what games have you guys been up to? Let's see if we can find a few pieces in here. I've kind of given up a little bit on the Red Ranger. I focused a lot of time on that one. And the rest of the pieces, I just cannot figure out where they go, so we'll come back to that one. What else we got here? There's some very distinct parts of the Pink Ranger I also just can't seem to find the right spot for. Let's see. There's also this little, like, warp sky portion. It looks so cool. Very hard to put together. There was, like, one section that was a slightly different shade of blue, and I got all of that part together, and then there's the rest of it. Here we are, actually. Oh, boom, yes. It's so satisfying when you actually find the right pieces. It's very satisfying. And then when you find the wrong piece, you're just like, I see. Oh, nice. Doing well. There's a lot of these kind of like solid white pieces, and those all have to go. Actually, there's two spots. There's kind of a little white spot here, and then a blank white spot over here. This one is like really just all white. That's the other thing that's really nice. When you open our puzzle boxes, it does come with this little printout, which is really handy to be able to use while you're trying to sort the puzzle. But this would also make like a nice, if you have like a little spot on like your poster, like inside your binder, perfect size for that would be really nice. These are very specific. They either go in the bottom by part of the Red Ranger, or I feel like that's probably where they go, actually. It's so interesting how just a very subtle shade of blue can make a big difference on where on the puzzle it might go exactly. You don't go there. Neither do you. Oh, I thought I had it. Oh, nope. Trying to make it work, it was not working. Might have to come back to this sky portion. It's tricky. This purple portion is really tricky too. There's a whole bunch of shades of purple, but it's hard to figure out where they kind of fit into exactly. I really want to finish this portion too. Oh, excellent. This has to go up here somewhere. Actually, I feel like it goes this way. Oh, these cupcakes smell so good. Have not tried one yet, but I'm eager. You have to go somewhere over here. I'll come back to you. I will come back to you. feel like I can finish this little section. Oh, good guess. And then 4 pieces in a row. We're on a roll. Okay, we lost it. We lost the roll. Nope, that's not it. Maybe. Oh, nope. It's not quite it. Not quite there. Oh, actually. No! Don't break apart, puzzle. Please stay. Ah, man, that really doesn't go there? I feel like I'm close. There's also some portions where it's a bit darker. I'm trying to figure out where those pieces are particularly. Actually, these are probably out. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Ooh, it's a piece like that, though. Not that one. This one? Oh! And then maybe... Oh! Oh! Yes! Oh, this is going well. It's so satisfying. Oh, nope, it's gone. Oh, it's back. You two are very specific shapes. Ooh, not quite. Not quite. I tried to save it. Nope, it doesn't. I don't know where you go. I don't know. Wait, no, you're definitely not it. You maybe. No. I feel like this piece I can find. It's again a very specific shape. And there's only so many of this shape of pieces in this section left. Nope, you're not it. Oh, yes. So since we're on the topic of Power Rangers for today's theme, I'm curious what everyone's favorite thing about Power Rangers. Like what is the thing that really draws you to Power Rangers? I'm really, really curious. And although this is pre-recorded, so I can't interact with chat this particular stream, I will be in the comments though. Or the chat. I will be in chat. But I actually had an interesting conversation with my mom recently. We were talking about Heroes of the Grid, and she was trying to tell me about how I used to watch Power Rangers all the time. And I promptly told her, I was like, Mom, I did not watch Power Rangers when I was young. I remember I definitely saw an episode or two. Like, I do remember that. But for some reason, it just wasn't one of those shows that I ended up watching. Like, it wasn't on the channels that I watched. I remember it played at school a couple of times when I was really young, and that's where I saw it. But it was just so funny that she swore I had actually watched it. But it's actually, I'm starting to get into Power Rangers now. I feel like it's just such a really cool show and concept. Oh, I'm onto something over here. I'm onto something. Okay, you over here. I can figure you out. Boom. I can do it. It can be done. Maybe it's this way. These pieces are really light colored. So it's gotta be... Or maybe not. Ooh, do you go? Ah, haha. Gotcha. Now where do you go? Oh wait. Oh, gotcha. It's coming together. This is the portion I'm having the most problem with, honestly. This whole section here. Oh, finally. Looking for that piece for forever. And it just clicked, just like that. Like it was so simple. These are gonna be the dark purples. And probably only dark purples. No, I got nothing. I don't know. I don't know what you are. Oh! Oh, yes. Getting somewhere, getting somewhere. Ying is here joining us for Puzzles and Snacks.
Hi, everybody. So are we rolling?
We are rolling.
Great. All right, so let's see. We've got this cover from Rise of the Psycho Rangers as this huge puzzle. One of my favorite Dan Mora art pieces. I'm very excited about that.
Yes, I really love it. The thing with the puzzle I was mentioning earlier was with it kind of blown up like this, you really see like the details of all the art in it, and it's really, really nice.
It's so good. He's so good. I love the way he does his line work. Let's see. Now we saved a couple bits for me that are a little easier because I am not a I'm not a fantastic puzzler. I'm going to be perfectly honest, but I do enjoy them. They're very fun.
They're really nice, like casual kind of game.
Yeah, you also brought cupcakes, which I'm very excited about.
Yes,
appropriately color coded.
Yes.
I called dibs on Black Ranger.
I went ahead and snagged the Blue Ranger.
Very exciting. All right.
Then we also have some interview questions prepared from you guys from the Power Ranger Facebook group. So we'll just kind of be casual going through those, chatting, and just building puzzle and having some cupcakes.
So cool. Shall we kick off on those?
Yep. So the first one is, if he can reveal it, what was the original timeline of the game during conception first Kickstarter? How many teams, years did they think the game was originally going to run?
Oh, so this is a really interesting question because the timeline was long enough that things kind of changed during the course of it, right? Like, so I think effectively from creation to launch of from Scott's first meeting with me about this project to the launch of the Kickstarter was about like a year and some change.
Oh, okay.
Which is a little longer than some of these projects end up taking, particularly licensed ones. Like they don't often have that much lead time, which I'm very grateful that we were able to get. And so like Scott had met with me and like he had gotten the Power Rangers license from Saban. We were all very excited. And we wanted it to be like a game that's very expandable because there's just so much to the setting, right? And it took a long time for me to actually figure out exactly what I wanted to do with it mechanically. Eventually, we, as the game we got the core game design and we got like kind of a core box I was like starting work on expansions and that's when kind of we got wind of the Hasbro changeover coming out in.
Oh, okay.
And like we were like, oh, hey, there's going to be a change in licensor, so that'll introduce some changes. And we know Hasbro has their own board game department, although they don't tend to do hobby games like this kind of intense what Renegade does. And so we weren't super sure if we would keep the license. So we kind of wanted to get as much out for the game as we could in that first Kickstarter. So that first Kickstarter is bigger than most people were expecting it to be.
That makes sense. It's so interesting to get the behind the scenes look at that.
It's a huge box, and part of it was kind of like, okay, you know, we may only get one bite of this apple, so let's try and make it as cool as we can. Let's make it as big as we can, and also kind of as a I don't want to call it a show of force, but like a demonstration of what Renegade can do that like no other studio can, right? Like that, you know, we committed super hard to make this really cool game, and so yeah, that first Kickstarter was huge, and like, you know, put me kind of on the back foot expansion-wise, because I was like, oh, all the things I'd been planning for like the first year of releases, we're doing them all at once, so now we need another thing for that year, which, was very exciting, but a little stressful. Overall, though, I'm real happy with how that ended up shaking out. But yeah, so I think we had a few different prototypes that were in the cooker for a while. By the end of it, we had a really cool game. So I think it was about a year, of like solid like iteration and design stuff. Once we had the core game, expansions weren't too tough. Like that's kind of, I like doing expansions, as people have noticed from all of the content we have made. It's like a giant stack of it over there. Let's see. Okay, puzzle.
I got a couple pieces over here.
Okay.
Slowly come through. I got this whole foot to get.
Yeah, I'm working on Andros's chin. Let's see.
Would you be willing to talk about the design for the Green Samurai Ranger and how you decided to play style you wanted his unique mechanic to have?
Ooh, so yeah, the Green Samurai Ranger is definitely one of my favorites that we ended up making. He's Cam Watanabe is honestly like one of my favorite characters in Ninja Storm. He's very fun, and he was sort of a really interesting challenge because he's got these two very distinctive visual designs, right? He's got that like armored vest, and then he like takes it off, it drops down like Rock Lee and Naruto, and then he gets super fast, and like the helmet spins around.
It's such a cool concept.
It's so cool, but like, you know, it was like, how do we like present that? Like, which one do we use? Which is where the idea of like, hey, if we use the promo kit to like add like a second figure, we can actually get both figures in the game. He's most iconically the one with the vest, so we'll use that as the baseline. And so we did that, and I got to play around with this idea of having, you know, the samurai armor in your hand, and whether or not you have played it, representing whether or not you have like kind of released it from your shoulders and now you sped up. So all of his cards are sort of two-phase and give him kind of two completely different play styles. And that, I think the actual original concept for that comes from a game that I really like that is a little hard to find right now called Combo Fighter. Combo Fighter is a super fun kind of card game based around, it is one of many card games that tries to mimic the feel of fighting games, of fighting video games.
Oh, okay.
And so it's got like this cool rock, paper, scissors element, and you've got like a deck and a hand of cards. But there's a character in Combo Fighter who has like a quarterstaff, and that quarterstaff just makes all of her attacks better. But she can, at any point, instead of like doing a normal attack, do a move that breaks the quarterstaff, which is a really powerful move, and like shatters the staff. And then she's like, all of her cards are now weaker, but you know, that move could have like changed the course of the game.
Right.
And so that kind of big decision point was very cool and very fun to play with. And like, that was a very nice idea that like, oh cool, we can do something like this with Heroes of the Grid. So like his core design, like he has to always have that card in his hand at the start of each battle. So that's one of a component of the ability. And then it lets him decide when does he want to play it and what does it do for him. And it just kind of flowed out from there. And yeah, I think he was definitely one of my favorite characters to design, and much like Adam Park, I tend to put a lot of the exciting design ideas into characters that I am most partial to.
Sometimes you just have a little favoritism, and that kind of makes
just a little. You know, I can have a little favoritism as a treat.
Exactly. I think it's turned out well that way.
Let's see, I think this goes. I think this is part of his helmet. I mean, this has got to be part of his helmet.
some of the pieces I'm like, yeah, I got this, and then I go to put them like, no, we're not.
Wait a minute.
It doesn't work.
Wait, a tick? Okay, let's see. His visor. Okay. That can't be.
So another question.
Mm-hmm.
The Allies
hit me.
packs are always full of unique deck playstyles. Do you decide the Rangers included in ally packs? If so, do you choose based on favorite iconic allies, or do you have a deck mechanic in mind that you want to develop, thus choosing a Ranger that fits that card interaction?
Often we start with which characters we want to include in an ally pack. The ally packs are often a really fun chance for us to get a really good mix of characters. Because like a team pack, you've got one team, you're trying to make that team interesting as a group and, you know, and represent that season. But with the ally packs, it's like, oh, hey, we got this nice grab bag of who are our favorite cool characters that we want to pull in. You know, the Sixth Rangers and the allies and the cool, like, fun characters that some people don't necessarily expect. And so, you know, we have a lot of different criteria for those. A lot of them is, you know, of course, we want to do ones that are very popular, ones that people are really excited to play as. Some of them also are nice teasers for, like, seasons that we may not get for a while, right? Like, Anubis Kruger was in the first ally pack because, like, we love SPD, but it was probable that, like, you know, SPD isn't one of the, like, there were a few seasons that scored higher than SPD on the original fan poll we did.
Right.
And so it was like, okay, but, like, you know, SPD has these really dedicated fans. We want to do something for SPD. And so we included Anubis Kruger in that set, which made it feel very appropriately dramatic. And yeah, so a lot of it is including Rangers that we think will be good to be included before their team shows up. And it gives us a nice teaser for what their abilities will be eventually, which I'm very excited about.
Right, yeah.
And sometimes I have a really strong idea of what that team's core theme is going to be. And other times I'm just like, okay, this is a cool core theme for this character. And I know that there is a lot of design space around that we can build towards with it. So yeah, it'll definitely vary sometimes. But yeah, I think very rarely do I have a mechanic in mind before I have a Ranger I want to use it with.
Oh, okay.
That is less common. Usually I want to try and make it so that the Ranger, like, it's like, okay, we have the Titanium Ranger. Like, he's super tough. He broke a curse. There's a lot of interesting stuff there. So we want to lean into that. And so what suits that play style? Whereas, like, I don't know. I guess, like, sometimes I just get really excited when we have a more general theme, like RJ in the most recent ally pack has, his fighting style is based on Muay Thai in the show.
Right.
And I'm a big fan of Muay Thai. I love, I watch a lot of Indonesian martial arts movies. And I also kind of, and he has this very kind of fun, exciting character personality to go with this Muay Thai style. So he's not very serious. He's very exciting. I ended up theming him a little bit on Captain Falcon in the Super Smash Bros. Games. Oh, wow. How did you... That's just a white... I'm so impressed that you were like, oh, this is what we needed. And you were able to just catch it out. Like, we assumed these were all over here.
It was... I ran out of all whites over here, so I was like, okay, process of elimination, it has to be over there. And there was only, like, a couple fully white ones. So...
Power to you. I'm very impressed by how that turned out.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of the gist of that one. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Oh, we're so close. I can feel it for this.
I believe in you.
Bold of you to say.
I got the harder part of the Red Ranger. I'm like, it's this inner part, so there's not a lot of details to go with.
Okay, now I have to do the challenging thing of moving.
Oh, it'll fall
apart.
Wait,
I got it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, okay, wait. Was a good idea. Let's see. There we go. Okay. All right, let's see.
Oh, that makes sense. I was like, this doesn't look like enough. Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's satisfying.
Now
okay, this
it's
goes
coming together.
Somewhere.
It has kind of an off color in it.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Perfect.
There we go. Okay, now to do this, which is, oh no.
There's
I'm sure it'll
also
be fine.
this little portion over here that might be a little easier. I think that goes here.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that's the...
Here-ish area.
It's the Psycho Black Ranger's helmet. Which will be hopefully a little easier to parse.
Another question is, favorite mechanic you've thought of that hasn't made it into the game?
Oh, spoilers for that. Come on
Ooh.
now. Let's see. I will say there was... we had a very slight spoiler that we have slipped onto the cover of the Rangers United box, or the back of the
I've
Rangers
heard about
United
that.
box.
Yeah.
We decided, like, as kind of a gag, we put the Quantum Ranger on the back, who does not appear in the box, but is sort of scouting out. You know, I mean, he's a time traveler. He can, he'll show up to help out. But yeah, like, I will say the Quantum Ranger is one of the designs, like, I think the Quantum Ranger has been bumped from the most ally packs so far.
Yeah.
We kept being like, okay, do we want to do him now? I mean, but like, he would be a perfect kind of fill-in, because like the team packs are 5 Rangers, and we already showed Time Force Pink in Shattered Grid.
Right.
So it's like, do we want to do Time Force Pink again, or we could just fill her slot with Eric, and so I think minor reveal, Eric is going to appear with the rest of his Time Force team. But yeah, the Quantum Ranger, we've had his design for a long time, and I love him. He's got a very unique play style, not unlike Cam Watanabe. And yeah, he's definitely got one of my favorite gameplay styles in the game. I suppose I'll give a very minor secret spoiler for Time Force's theme, because you've kind of already seen it with Jen. Time Force's mechanical theme is swapping. And so you'll see various effects that will allow you to swap various things in the game. And what things get swapped and what effects move around will be, you'll see that soon. Yeah, I hope people are excited for that.
Ooh, it sounds exciting.
Okay, I think these fit, but maybe they don't actually fit, and I'm just being crazy.
Those always get me.
Yeah.
They go together, but then if you really look, they don't quite fit.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got... Okay, this bit's got like just a touch of red, which makes me think it actually goes...
There's some of this glove left. Oh, maybe here?
Oh, maybe, yeah. Let's see. Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's coming together.
It's not part of his torso at all.
Here's one I've wondered. How much research goes into making a deck for a character? Do you actively watch the season the character is from to look for key moments to take notes of?
So do I watch the season? Well, I mean, yes, I do watch. Generally, when working on a character, I will often look at their first appearance.
Okay.
That's like usually a good showcase of like when they do a cool thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or when they get like a cool power up that we really want to feature. But usually the first time a ranger shows up is the most iconic. Like, okay, yep, here is their cool power demonstration. This is mostly true for ally packs where they get a whole episode onto themselves. But yeah, I do a fair bit of research. Like I read up on stuff. I also secretly I look at if they have appeared in other media like the comics or Legacy Wars, see kind of how they fight in those. But yeah, I do a fair bit of research. I don't rewatch the whole season every time we do a character from that season, though I do tend to rewatch a lot of a season when we do like a team pack.
Right.
But yeah, so definitely more than zero research, I will say. Like, I really want to try hard to capture, like these Rangers, how they feel and what they do. I kind of operate under the presumption that every Power Ranger is somebody's favorite character, and so I want to do them justice in those designs. So yeah, like I think that is pretty much how the process goes for those. No, absolutely not that.
It's kind of what I tend to assume too, just like any show or fandom that I'm in, I usually assume that even if it's a character I don't like, it's usually someone's favorite. Someone's
written a like 5,000 word fan fiction about them somewhere. And I will find it. No.
We'll find it.
Yeah, there's the bit of whether it's coming from here or here.
Right. I feel like this piece would be pretty distinct, just because it should be like half glove.
Yeah, I think it's probably this. It's like a corner? No, maybe not. Let's see. Oh, this has the glow.
It'd be pretty... Oh,
yep,
yeah.
There it is. Yeah, I'm looking for that blue stroke that we put around the Rangers to make them pop from the background. It's a Photoshop art technique.
Speaking of art, what's your favorite card artwork or box artwork for the minigame?
Oh, man. I mean, Shattered Grid has such a cool box art.
Yeah, I was looking at that one earlier.
Though I will say we just got a box art for an upcoming thing. We just got the first draft of it in, and I am so hyped about it. I think Rangers United, when whoever on the development team made the decision to like do the like reflected helmet of the Solar Ranger.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, and it's great because the Solar Ranger has such a big helmet for like that. Like, you know, her visor is really nice and gives us a lot of real estate to put stuff on. So yeah, that was definitely one of the more fun covers. Yeah. As far as individual art pieces, oh man, there's a bunch of really good ones. We've started doing certain shots of Rangers without their helmets, which, you know, was a little bit squirrely early on, like likeness rights and all that. Like, but yeah, like I think we have this great shot of RJ like eating a slice of pizza while dodging lasers. I love any excuse to like make the artists to draw the characters eating food. I always think it's funny.
Yeah.
There is a great reference in, you know, one of the earliest expansions in Shattered Grid. Hyperforce Pink is hitting a Tenga warrior in the face with a taco, or a burrito. Sorry. Yeah, which is, you know, like that moment of like throwing a burrito at a monster is taken straight from the Hyperforce stream, which made me very happy, and I'm very glad we got to immortalize that with art by Dan Mora, and just being like, hey Dan, I want you to draw this character being hit with a taco.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Let's see.
This section is so hard.
It's just a tiny no.
Oh, yes.
Nope.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, slowly but surely. We'll get there. That it? Yeah. There it is. That feels good.
Yeah, those are the best moments.
Very satisfying. This was fun.
Will we ever get any more deluxe size enemies?
Ooh, that is a tough one. I think right now, I will say we don't have any currently in development, but that does not mean we won't see more of them in the future. They're pretty tough to produce, and they're also quite heavy. But yeah, like, I mean, everyone has already pretty much guessed which ones we would be most excited to do next, so I won't necessarily try and spoil what I am thinking about if and when we do another one. But yeah, for the moment, I think don't really expect at least the next wave probably won't include a deluxe-sized enemy. But yeah, like they tend to be a lot of work for like one boss, and it feels like a better use of our time to like, you know, do a villain pack which can get five enemies,
that makes
right?
sense.
Like it just feels like more content for your buck. Although those figures are really fun to paint and they look really cool on the table. Now you got to find.
I've tried so many pieces in that spot,
Yeah.
and I just wait.
Yeah. And there it is. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You sure?
I don't think so.
No,
it's
not
not quite.
Not quite. No. No. So you need. It's
Is
tricky.
it?
No.
Is it this one? Ah.
Oh. And so. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this thing that's killing me.
Have you yet managed to convince Scott to release an Atom pack with Defender Vest Atom?
Defender Vest Atom. People are very like. I mean, I myself would love to see a Defender Vest Atom, but like, I feel like we've seen a lot of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers figures. It could be a fun promo, like how we did Dragon Shield Jason.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, for the moment, I am pretty sated on my Adam Park. Like, I'm doing all right. Let's see. There we go. Let's see. No, absolutely not.
This has to go over here.
There we go.
Or not. No.
No?
Yeah. There's 4 pieces for down here. Those will probably be last, honestly.
Yeah. There we go.
Very last ones. Oh, one more.
One more. And now we've got... There we go.
Ooh.
Okay, now where do these go then? Wait a minute.
Oh, here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Great. That makes things way easier.
They all go together.
There we go. Okay. Got him. There we go. Look at that. For completing the Psycho Black Ranger, I'm going to take a bite of this Psycho Black cupcake. Quick, while my mouth is full.
Right. Let's see. Based on the newer releases in the comics and how certain characters have grown, will previously Kickstarter exclusive content be getting an updated, tweaked version based on the current series?
That's a tricky one, mostly because we've gotten, there's a mixed bag when it comes to re-releasing content that we've already done, even in the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter exclusive box is it's very available right now. It's pretty easy to find. We try and make it available on the Renegade web store, even after the Kickstarter's over. And so it is, a lot of the audience already has that content, and so we have to kind of make a decision about how much that availability will help versus putting that energy into making entirely new Rangers and enemies and sculpts,
that makes sense.
right? The sculptor is so swamped making these weird designs. Heximus gave him such a headache. God, I love Heximus. He's such a wacky character.
Right.
But yeah, so a lot of it is just deciding on where to put our effort. We've done so many characters, and yet there's still so many that people are really excited about, and so it would sometimes feel kind of bad to, there are only so many slots, right?
Right.
And some of them can be easier to develop than others, but because all of them require the full process of making a mini, getting it sculpted, getting it scaled, testing out the kits, even minor tweaks to certain characters will still take a lot of development time. Yeah.
So it's kind of either redo one or do new ones.
I'd love to do Echo Fighters like they do in Smash Bros, but I don't quite. Yeah, it's there's a practical aspect that makes it a little more challenging. Yeah. No, not there. No. Okay.
Do you want to swap?
You know what? Yeah,
These?
I'd be thrilled if you want to take over this stuff. I'm having a devil of a time with this, shot of
I
Predator.
got the rest of this, so I feel like maybe I can get these. And then those are just there, but 2 of those will go down here, too.
Yep. I know, let's see, these are going to represent, let's see, who's up here? Oh, yeah, the Psycho Red's flame form. Yeah, Path of Flames. Yeah. Okay. That should be a little more doable.
Let's see what other questions we got. Is there any popular character that you don't think we'll ever see incorporated into the game?
I'm going to say Ivan Ooze.
Ooh.
We get the question constantly, and I want Ivan Ooze in the game, but licensing for that character is such a nightmare. Because of the way the original Mighty Morphin movie was made,
right.
I'm gonna say I try to say never when it comes to pretty much any character, but Ivan Ooze is at the top of the probably never.
Right.
And I'm mad about it, but that's just the it's not our fault. That is entirely licensing shenanigans, and like, people much more powerful than me would need to become very, very friendly with each other before I think we'd see hide or hair of Ivan ooze.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Oh, we're so close.
So close, so close.
Oh, there we go.
Why am I so bad at puzzles?
Just takes practice. Not really. It completely depends on the puzzle, like the image, how big it is, a lot of factors. If licensing came up to you and said, "We love what you're doing so much that the next season of Super Sentai we localize will be entirely based on which season you want to include in the game, and what season would you choose?"
Oh, man. Unfortunately, I think I heard Hasbro isn't doing much Sentai stuff anymore. Like, they're actually switching their priorities to do more, like, specifically Power Rangers content. Like, they're not going to be licensing Sentai footage, which makes sense. Like, special effects are way cheaper now than they used to be.
Sure.
But to answer that question, absolutely Lupin Ranger.
Ooh.
Like, I mean, they're not going to do it because they're, thieves, and, like, that's really kind of off-theme for Power Rangers. Like, they didn't want to do pirates, so... but yeah, like, Lupin Ranger is absolutely one of my favorite recent seasons of Sentai. I love the suits. I love the theme. I'm a big fan of Lupin the Third as a kid. Like, all of... That would be such a dream for me. But, yeah, odds are low and only getting lower for that to work out. Alas.
Never say never,
But yeah, like... So yeah, that would be the answer to that one. God, I love Lupin Ranger so much.
What draws you to that the most?
I mean, the suits are really fun. I really like the theme of the show. Like, I don't want to dive super deep into a, like, recap of Lupin Ranger as a plot, but, like, the idea of there being kind of these two competing teams of Rangers who, like, one of them is actively antagonistic to the first one while there's, like, a third party of monsters that they both, want to mess with and defeat. Like, it just creates, like, a really interesting dynamic, and I'd have loved to see how, like, the localization for the American version of that show would have looked. Yeah, it was super fun, and I like that kind of misdirection. I love heist stories. Like, there's so much cool you can do with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of a fan of that as well. This can only be one of, like, 3 pieces. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, doing this bit upside down is fascinating.
Yeah, I did like half of this upside down. It's very interesting.
Yeah. For the camera. Luckily I've got this reference image here. Makes things a little easier. This is definitely one of his swoopy bits, of which he has many.
Ooh. I'd imagine a box themed towards Operation Overdrive would have different game mechanics, with the motivations of the villains and Rangers being finding jewels. So with that in mind, have you considered gameplay mechanic changes to fit themes like this?
So yeah, the core system of, like, panic and defeating the boss, etc., like, is kind of nice in general and kind of suits most of the Power Rangers, like, themes. But certain shows like Operation Overdrive and Dino Charge have, like, oh, you're hunting for crystals and all that. I probably wouldn't change the core combat system of the game just because it's so solid and versatile, though it would absolutely be perfect for a scenario, of which we have many. And so yeah, I think I would totally see, making one that would suit Operation Overdrive or Dino Charge or all that. Like, that would probably fall into the realm of a scenario. So yeah. Do love working on those, though they take a lot of work, because, like, originally I think we had planned on the scenarios just being kind of these simple, like, hey, play with these Rangers, like, do a themed game, like, oh, Forever Red, which, like, would have been way easier for me, but instead every single one of them is a, like, is a modification of the core game's model with, like, a bunch of bells and whistles and, like, weird mechanics. They're like a tiny mini game in and of themselves, which is my Imperial Assault scenario designing showing. And I have a lot of fun with them, but they are a devil to design.
I was doing really well, and then there's this last batch.
Yeah. That's how it is with these things, I suppose.
I'd like to know about the process for picking content. Is it going from the old survey in the first Kickstarter? And do you kind of get to do whatever you want? Do you make / design more what you think will be popular or what your team loves?
It's a little of both. It's a little of both. It's like there are a lot of factors that go into it. Some of it is licensing. Some of it is like, hey, we're going to feature this character in a thing. Like, we don't tend to get that much heads up on that sort of thing. But that's why that doesn't fit in there, because it's not correct.
Oh. Finally.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't talk too much about it, to be honest, and I wish I could, but that initial poll was very informative. We've gone through a whole lot of teams on that list now, so like, where people would have voted if they could vote other teams now that they've gotten their favorites is a little bit up in the air, but we get some marketing data. We get a lot of it is like fan requests that we see people posting about, like Rangers they're excited about. There's a small part of me that wants to try and make sure to try and represent every single team in the entire series, which, originally I was like, that's probably going to be impossible. Like, but we're getting close. Like, there's only like a few seasons that have not seen at least one character representation so far on the Ranger or villain side. And yeah, like I have my doubts that we'll be able to do. Oh my God, that's incredible. Here, have some of these.
Okay.
Enjoy.
So I'm going to figure out these ones down here.
Let's see. Get one that like...
Which I think are none of these.
Yeah.
All the wrong shape.
Let's see. What is down there that's...
It's like...
Oh, it's like the kind of wing bit.
Yeah. It's kind of a dramatic wing on both sides.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh, that one, yeah.
This one? Yeah, that looks about right.
Yeah. This one's kind of like, it's a little larger on one side, skinnier on the other.
No.
Ooh, it's close.
No, not quite. But it's one with the two in bits. There's a few different. That one?
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Great. So now we just need to worry about this stuff.
Just this last corner.
Oh, we're so close. We're so close. I can taste it.
One of these...
Don't taste puzzles. They mostly...
Don't taste puzzles. Eat cupcakes instead.
Eat cupcakes, indeed. Strong policy.
Oh.
Is that? No. Maybe it's upside down.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Nice. And then that one has to go here.
Right, yeah, there's only... Yeah, well, maybe the other way.
Okay. So now we just have these weird corner ones left.
Yes.
Oh, this one's really dramatic. I bet it's this one.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
See if we have one last
question. Oh, we're so close. So close.
Skip to that one.
Okay. Wait, there's that fourth. Oh, God. It's always like, wait a minute, no! Oh, no.
How much influence do you personally have in deciding what characters get in?
I definitely have more than I was expecting to have, I'll say that. Yeah, like, I think generally I try and... Oh! We did it! Mission accomplished.
Puzzle is done.
Oh, so pretty.
Excellent.
Yeah, I've got some influence. I definitely get to be like, hey, I'm really excited about doing this Ranger. I have an idea. I'll like pitch ally packs more than any other. I get to kind of have a lot of influence over. Whereas like a team pack, it's like obviously, okay, which team is going to go in? Like, I'm part of the meeting of which team is going to go in.
Right.
Like, I kind of often represent like, okay, look, we've had, Jen has been in the game since the beginning. People have been at like, Time Force is coming. We all know.
We all know.
And so like, yeah, like that was one where I was like, look, we could do we could do some of the other seasons. but I think the time is right. We finally reached the point where like we should do Time Force. So I got to push for that one a little hard, but like otherwise there's so many factors. It's tough to, it's tough to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you want to answer one more while we finish our cupcakes?
Mm-hmm.
We got any, or are we mostly through them?
I think that's mostly all of them, but...
Oh, good.
Are there any other... Like, what is your favorite thing about being part of this industry?
I mean, I think board games are definitely unusual in that you can do a lot of, like, the teams are so much smaller. Mm-hmm. You have so much control over what the product ends up looking like. Like, I don't have to rely as much on, like, a whole team of artists and coders and all these things. Like, I get to be like, okay, here's how I want this mechanic to work. Mm-hmm. Talk to the rules editor. Will this work? What do you think about this? And he's like, yeah, that sounds good. Talk to we have a very small pool of artists that I get to directly interface with. Like, I've done a little bit of work in digital games, and it's there's just so many more layers to that process that make kind of having a cohesive vision much more challenging. Like, the people who pull that off tend to make some of the best games of all time.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
God of War, Smash Bros, like people with really strong like visions for a product. And I know that it's just, and it is hard to do in game dev in general, but I think board games are one of the fields where it is a little easier. So yeah, that is definitely a thing that I love. And just being able to work on, Power Rangers and bring this series to life has been such a dream. Like, oh, I'm so happy. I think our initial expectations were like, we'll be lucky if this game lasts like, 2 years. Like, which is the usual life cycle for like a licensed game, like, a whole lot of games like with really strong launches, like they go 2 years, they've got like, and there's a perfectly respectable lifespan for a game in this industry. There's so many games coming out, but the fact that the fandom is so dedicated and the game has turned out to be like very robust and very expandable, like there's so many ways you can play a character. I feel very lucky and I feel very excited. Yeah.
Well,
man, I'm real thrilled that we got this puzzle done. I was not optimistic. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I'm bad at puzzles.
You did great.
Yeah, I think we managed.
Because honestly, I meant to have a little bit more done before you got here, but we ended up having just kind of little spots that weren't quite done. And I was gonna try to make it so like, oh, maybe we just complete the Red Ranger or something, and then ended up being like, well, we have to.
Well, we have this bit, which
warp sky, some of this background here.
Yep, Dan, why would you do this to us?
But it worked out. We did. We did great.
Yeah.
I love some great questions. Had some cupcakes.
Yeah. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you all for joining, and we will see you guys next time.